Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. I have had multiple people asking the exact same question as of late, so I thought that I would throw together a video which is to answer the question, how did I lose all that weight? Now, if you are new to my channel, I have it also organized by playlists, and I do have a playlist entitled Body, as well as another one, Sugar and Food. And I highly recommend you hop on to those playlists because you'll find a lot more information about my weight loss. If you don't know my story, I lost over 130 pounds. In so doing, I also cured my diabetes, my fibromyalgia, my sleep apnea, peripheral neuralgia, brain fog, memory loss, and an assortment of other small aches and pains throughout my body. In 2019, I was diagnosed finally with diabetes as well as sleep apnea. Those were the two main issues that propelled me to start taking my health very, very seriously. I had received a wake-up call from my soul saying to save myself, and so I set about to do just that, knowing that the first thing that I would have to do is to fix my health. And fixing my health meant fixing my weight problem. Because both sleep apnea as well as diabetes were exacerbated by the weight that I was carrying. And the first thing I did is what everybody else does, is I went and I asked the experts. And then I realized that I shouldn't be listening to the experts because I didn't trust the information that they were providing for me. And so I got my own information. I'm deadly serious. I went to a diabetes clinic, and the information that I was given there made my mind almost blow up because the information was so vastly incorrect. It made me realize that a lot of people, unbeknownst to them, have been educated in a system where they are taught food and food guides and food recommendations by organizations that are funded by food companies. And so I quickly realized that when you follow the money, you don't necessarily get the most accurate information. You get information based on companies that are trying, or industries that are trying to promote their products. So the first thing that I did in my research is I researched a lot of diets. I researched a lot of health conditions. I researched a lot of information not only about diabetes and blood sugar, as well as candida overgrowth in the body, leaky gut, and any number of other concerns, and all those diets that were recommended for each of these issues. I quickly discovered the low glycemic index. I highly recommend that you type in your search bar glycemic index food list and download one of those and print it out and put it on your fridge. A glycemic index load is how the foods turn into sugar in your body, because the numero uno evil is sugar. And sugar is what feeds disease. Sugar is what feeds cancer. Sugar is not good for you. So my poor system was overloaded with sugar intake, and so it couldn't stand it anymore with the diabetes, that my blood sugars themselves were way out of whack. So my first step on my weight loss journey was learning to advocate for myself and make decisions for myself and being the expert for myself. So I'm going to recommend that you do that as well. I'm going to recommend that you start listening to your body and being your own body's expert. Because if you're requiring things like antacids and any other number of like products to help your bowel movements or other issues that you're having throughout your body. Those are just band-aids on top of an underlying system that says your gut needs attention and your gut needs repair. And so the gut-brain connection was something that was definitely playing out in my life. I was suffering from severe memory loss. I was tested for early onset Alzheimer's, and I failed that test at the age of 47. That was very concerning. So I immediately went about trying to reduce my glycemic load, the sugars within my body. That meant eliminating almost all carbs. I did it in stages because it's hard to do huge elimination diets, but I started, it was like a weaning process. As I weaned myself off of white bread, white flour, so your pastas, white potatoes, white rice, anything rice, white, and I moved into whole grains, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. The weight wasn't moving fast enough. So then I eliminated all of those. I eliminated the grains. I eliminated anything that fell into the category of the red in the glycemic load index. So anything high carbohydrate, which included below ground vegetables as opposed to the above ground vegetables. Anything that had additional sugar in it was gone. Anything that was starchy in any way, shape, or form was gone. So if you're looking for diets that you can follow, you look at paleo, look at keto, look at low glycemic index diets, look at the Mediterranean diet, although the Mediterranean diet does have a lot more carbs than I was eating. The second thing that I did in eliminating carbs was I simplified my eating. Eating no longer became like I'm going to create beautiful meals and I'm going to do this and that. It became a keep it simple stupid, so that I didn't have all these vegetables and stuff going off in my fridge. Because you buy all this stuff and you think you're going to eat all this stuff and then it goes to waste. So I didn't want to do that, so I kept it as simple as possible. So I basically ate the same breakfast every single day. And my breakfast was designed to give me all the nutrients that I could need. So I'm eating for sustenance and quality over creativity and joy. My breakfast of choice became what is known as the Spiritual Warrior's Breakfast. And I did a video on that. What the Spiritual Warrior's Breakfast is combines buckwheat grouts, whole buckwheat grouts, chia seeds, and hemp hearts. So I would blend those up, get them at the bulk barn or buy them in bulk and blend them all together, a third, a third, a third. If you're a little bit off, who cares? And I put it in a stainless steel container, and that was my cereal. And with my cereal at the beginning of my weight loss journey, I would eat that with whole fat, full fat yogurt, plain, no added sugar, no fruit in there, plain yogurt. So your Greek yogurts, your 5%, your 10%, your yummy, delicious, full fat yogurt. And I want to talk about fat for a minute, because when you eliminate carbohydrates, you need to be eating fats, because otherwise you're going to be starving and you won't adhere to the diet because you won't feel full. You will be told by countless people out there that fat is bad for you. That is incorrect. Fat is very good for you. It just depends on which kind of fat. Yes, there are very bad fats for you. If you're eating deep fried foods, those are bad fats. If you're eating canola oil, that is a bad fat. If it's not even, an actual vegetable. If you're eating things that I can't even think right now, that you want to be eating the healthy fats. You want to be eating avocados. And see, when I went to that nutrition class, they told me not to eat avocados because they were high fat. They told me not to eat yogurt with full fat, but to go low fat. But you know what low fat stands for? Low fat stands for taking the healthy fat out and replacing it with a chemical shitstorm to make it taste good. So we're not going to do that. We're going to eat nature's fats. So if you're still eating dairy, have your full fat yogurt. if you're still, eat your full avocado, eat olive oil, eat seeds and nuts to get your fat, and eat a plethora of coconut oil. I would put coconut oil in with my mushroom coffee that I used to have, because it intensifies your adaptogens. So if you're taking any adaptogens, make sure you're taking some coconut oil with it, or replace your butter with coconut oil. Coconut oil, coconut oil, coconut oil. I can't sing the praises enough of coconut oil. Why? Because coconut oil also kills the candida overgrowth that's in your gut. And I can guarantee that if you're overweight, you definitely have an imbalance in your gut, in your healthy bacteria, and an abundance of the less than desirable bacterials in there, the fungals, which is like your candida overgrowth. If you're concerned about this, I highly recommend going to a naturopath and getting live blood cell testing, and they can see your blood on the screen with you in the room and see that there is fungal overgrowth, or your white blood cells are doing this or that, and can give you dietary advice based on your actual blood, your blood, not somebody else's blood, not generic information, but your specifically of what you should or shouldn't be eating. Because I highly recommend that they're going to tell you you're going to be eating your healthy fats, which also includes salmon, lots of salmon, and your omega-3s. Those are healthy fats. Cod liver oil, mackerel, sardines, good fats to be eating and consuming, as well as they're high in protein. So when you eliminate carbohydrate and you what do I eat? What do I eat? You eat a lot of protein. So diets that sound like a low glycemic index diet, or a keto diet, or a paleo diet, even moderately the Mediterranean diet, are all good diets that you can pull recipes from if you want to. But I was keeping things so simple, smooth, that, as I said, I would start with my warrior's breakfast. Oh, with the warrior's breakfast, we go back to that. Sorry, I went around. With the warrior's breakfast, with my dry mix of the buckwheat groats, hemp hearts, and chia, I would also have my full fat yogurt. Now, later on my adventures of losing weight, I became dairy-free and gluten-free. And that helped me clear the candida out of my body. But before I did that, I was already losing a lot of weight while I was still consuming dairy. So if you consume dairy, full fat dairy. If you don't consume dairy, you want to get a coconut-based yogurt, not oat-based, coconut-based yogurt. And that one is what will give you your healthy probiotics for your gut. As well as berries. Berries became my primary fruit. And then I would also have greens powder in with that mix. So every single day I would have the exact same breakfast, because it gave me everything that I needed. It gave me a heavy base with the cereal blend with all the nutrients that came with that, and very high protein. It gave me my antioxidants in the berries. It gave me my probiotics in the yogurt, and it gave me, everything was for a reason. Everything became functional. So you have to start looking at food. Is this functional? Is this food giving me something, or is this food just, tasting good? If it's just tasting good and it's not functional, it didn't serve a function for me. It didn't serve a purpose anymore. My lunches became very simple as well. I started eating and consuming bone broth, homemade bone broth. Now, to make a bone broth get the amount of nutrients that you need to slow cook that bone broth. So your poultry bones you do for 24 hours, whereas your big beef bones and lamb bones you want to cook for at least 48 hours. So first I would do them in the oven at 350 degrees for about an hour, hour and a half to brown the bones, so that you get a nice brown broth. Adds flavor to it as well. And then I would put it in the slow cooker, and the poultry I would cook for 24 hours and the bigger bones for 48 hours to seep out all of the collagen that is necessary to heal the leaky gut. because the leaky gut is what is causing a number of conditions in your body and your physical health that you do not want. And especially if you have any conditions like athlete's foot, jock itch, dandruff, thrush, and any other number of fungal infections, rashes in your body, skin conditions, ringworm, any of those types of things, then you have leaky gut and you have candida overgrowth. And it's what is happening is the candida is escaping out of the walls of the gut, and it's going into your bloodstream, and it's spreading throughout your body and eventually causing brain issues, as I said, severe memory loss, severe confusion. I was suffering from, which is why I had to take things very, very strict. You had to be 47 and diagnosed with possible early onset Alzheimer's because I failed an Alzheimer's test was a particularly scary moment for me. So my diet wasn't I want to fit in tighter jeans. My diet was, I need to save myself. This was a mission in saving myself. So I guess the next point that I want to make is, you need to be motivated to do what I did. I didn't do it just willy-nilly. It was very strict with my food intake, of adhering to that the green column in the glycemic load. So download a glycemic load list and look over the red food. The foods that are on the red list was a hard no. The foods that were on the orange list was like a once in a blue moon, maybe once per week. And the foods that were on the greens list was what I consumed. So the greens list foods of what is a low glycemic load, and glycemic load is what your body, how your body processes it, and if it turns it into sugar, because sugar is the numero uno of bad. Sugar feeding, as I said, sugar feeds all of the diseases in your body, including cancers. And so you need to eliminate and be very vigilant to read labels. So I became a label reader like there is no tomorrow. Going back to the bone broth for a minute, I'm kind of jumping here and there and everywhere. Going back to the bone broth, to make it more flavorful and to give it an extra functional boost, I would add in kimchi and or sauerkraut, real sauerkraut, not the shelf-stable stuff that's just vinegar, but actual sauerkraut, because both of those had healthy probiotics. Again, healing the gut. The mission is to heal the gut. If you heal the gut, then you can lose the weight because the gut is doing what it needs to do to process the food. If the gut is not in good health, then it doesn't matter what you eat, because it's going to be proliferating throughout your body and causing health problems. So you have to heal the gut. As I got more and more serious, so dinners, let's go. Dinners was high protein and above ground vegetables was my little trick to remember. So a lot of broccoli and a lot of protein. So I'm consuming proteins, healthy fats, above ground vegetables, lots of greens above grounds. Broccoli became my side on most nights. A lot of berries as my primary fruits. I eliminated tropical fruits for a long period of time because they're high in sugar. They're high on that glycemic load. So keeping things simple as possible. Keep the shopping list simple as possible. Keeping you as you're being an advocate for yourself and listening to your body of what it likes and doesn't like. As I went on with my journey, I was doing more and more research and more reading, and I decided later on, and I had already lost the majority of the weight by this point, but I decided later on to eliminate gluten and dairy for a multitude of reasons. One of which was the anxiety that I was experiencing. Another was because it's recommended that anybody who's on the spectrum the autistic spectrum, which includes anyone that has ADD, ADHD, OCD, Asperger's, and any of the variants, degrees of autism, which I'm somewhere on that spectrum, that you eliminate both dairy and gluten, and that you'll be able to cope better, cope with anxieties. I had already eliminated years ago all things like food colorings and food preservatives and things like that, because those are also highly warned against, especially if you're on the spectrum, because you're much more highly sensitive. And when I did that, when I did that, I went into an extreme healing crisis. So what is a healing crisis? A healing crisis is when you change your behaviors and you start getting healthy. Your body begins to purge. So that can come out by having a cold, having a flu, having digestive issues, releasing through rashes. And I mean, for about 6 months, I was releasing and having what is known as candida die off. Not pleasant, but I'm so glad to be rid of it out of my body. I am so incredibly glad. So to maintain my diet, I still eat like this, although I do have the occasional cheat here or there where I'll have like a slice of bread with some coconut oil on it or something like that. But for the most part, I am still living 100% sugar-free, absolutely no added sugar to anything. If something does have natural sugars in it, like fruit, yes, it is something, I consume a lot of fruit now, but I didn't at the beginning. I was limiting my fruit intake to berries and cranberries. Cranberry is particularly good for the kidneys. And then as I'm maintaining weight now, I can have more, my body craves more fruit. It craves less heavy things anyways. Through the awakening process, your body begins to shift. And the more you listen to it of what I want and give your body what it wants, as opposed to listening to the cravings. There's a difference between a craving. A craving is like, I want ice cream. Listening to your body when it's asking for something is like, I want eggs and spinach, right? So the more you pay attention to your body and give it when it needs, when it's having a nutritional hit, give it what it needs. If it's craving oranges, give it oranges, give it citrus. You may want vitamin C. You know, if it's craving liver, give yourself liver. You might be depleted in iron. If it's craving sardines, which I'm rarely craving, but I do give myself those sardines because of the omegas in it. So think of food as functional. Think of yourself as a Ferrari, and you wouldn't put crap in a Ferrari, and you need to give yourself the most nutrient-dense food choices that you can possibly give. If you need some further help with a diet and a diet plan, a food list, or any of those things, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to like set you up with something like that and see what we can do. The way to get in touch with me is JustBbeing at gmail.com. That's just the letter B, being at gmail.com, and I can assist you. All my services are by donation, and we can set up a time to chat and discuss some things if you have some more questions in regards to foods. The second part of my weight loss journey was the exercise that I also created for myself. And I say created because I went to a physiotherapist and because I was having severe pain down my left leg, which was diabetes related, as well as an injury in my foot. And I had peripheral neuralgia, a sharp shooting pain that was going down. And she asked me to do a gait test, which is to just walk for her so she could watch and see how I walked. And she informed me how I walked was incorrect. And I was like, oops, I've been doing this all my life. What do you mean it's incorrect? And she's like, you walking with your feet out, which is why you have lower back pain, which is exacerbating the pain down your leg. And you're also hunched over. And she was right, which is why I had previously had a buffalo hump. That, in combination with the teachings of Bessel van der Kolk, And if you haven't read or heard of Bessel van der Kolk, you can look on YouTube. He's done lots of podcasts. Otherwise, he has done, I believe, the book When the Body Says No, or The Body Keeps the Score. One of those is Body Keeps the Score. When the Body Says No is Gabor Mate, another good book. But both of those very good books to recommend. So Body Keeps the Score and Body Says No. And Bessel van der Kolk was talking about how when one has trauma in the body, we realign ourselves to be kind of more shrunken in ourselves. And he started talking about the theory in regards to when an actor is on stage playing the role of, say, a king, he gets himself into the position, the body position of being a king. And so between what the physiotherapist and Bessel van der Kolk said, I realized that my posture was completely and utterly out of whack. And so I created aligned walking as my means to exercise. And that I've done lots of videos. I do have a playlist called Aligned Walking. And so I went about to correct my body. And instead of thinking it as like, I'm going to go to a chiropractor or a physio, and then I'm going to just keep doing the same behaviors over and over and over again, I realized I needed to change the behaviors all the time, the way that I was walking. And so I got myself into the physical stance of feet forward, and just doing that, because my feet had been splayed for so many years, and just doing that took all my mindfulness. So out walking, where are my feet? Where are my feet? Feet forward, feet forward, feet forward, feet forward. And then knees on top of feet, knees on top of feet, flexing the knees, hips on top, not the butt curved under or pushed out. Where is, if you look at your hips like a bucket, you didn't want the water to be spilling out one way or another. So hips in alignment. Abdominals, the Pilates move, it is like a zipper. Zip up all your abdominals, chest up and open, shoulders back, shoulder blades down and pinched in, like if you were at doing mountain pose, arms up, head up. As somebody that was on the spectrum, I used to walk all the time like that. So it's about forcing yourself to train your body to be in posture. And the more my body got into posture, boom, the more the weight fell off, because the energetics of the body was working for me, not working against me. When something's twisted and out of alignment, you're going to have a lot harder time getting the weight off. So simply walking, and my walk started from one block around, and that's all I could muster, because I was in so much pain and I was so overweight. And then the next day I'd go out and I'd add 2 more blocks onto it, and then I'd add 3 more blocks onto it. And the entire time it was all focused on alignment, feet forward, standing up, head up. And you need to be constantly repeating to yourself, feet forward, especially if your feet are out of alignment. Because if your feet are out of alignment, everything else is. Everything else on your entire body is. So it's putting everything back into the structural alignment that is required. And then as soon as everything back, it's like all the pipes, your energetic system begins to flow again, and the weight went, vroom, it flew off of me. By the end, I was walking about 5K a day. And so, I was dedicated. To lose the weight that I lost required perseverance, dedication, discipline, treating food like functional as opposed to pleasurable. It's mastery over food. It's mastery over the body. The other exercise that I did that I talk nonstop about is yin yoga, because I had to counterbalance and stretch out the body, stretch out the muscles and the fascia, which holds a lot of trauma the muscles and the fascia. And so I'd come home after walking and I would do an hour of yin yoga. Now, yin yoga you can get here online for free. Yoga with Cassandra. Just make sure it's one of her yin ones. She has loads of playlists. Otherwise, I too have a playlist with a lot of her yin yoga programs right here on the YouTube. Check the playlists and you can find the one for yin yoga there, which is basic for beginners. I've even done practices with B. I've done a wall yoga that has some slight somatic movement in it that I've led for you so that you can do it as well, which is your legs up against the wall as you do certain positions with very gentle movement. And that is one that I did repetitively because my lower back, after everything that I went through, was in such bad way. And now I'm 85% cured, my lower back. I still have pain there. Oh, we've just lost light. Oh, well, hopefully you can still see me. I guess that's the cue that I've been talking too long. So if you have questions about either food, exercise, yin yoga, weight loss, if you need help, again, the way to do that is to reach out to me at JustBbeing@gmail.com and set up a one-on-one with me, and let's see if we can help you lose the weight as well. I'm going to say thank you, and thank you for all the likes, the shares, and the subscriptions. It means the absolute world to me. If you have any questions and you want me to do a video, feel free to get in touch with me and ask, or drop a comment below. And that said, peace out.